I have my water, and it's time to rant. You're gonna have to excuse the random, like, kind of knocking and stuff that's gonna happen because next door neighbor has some renovations that they have to do. So I can't really control that, unfortunately. But you guys have already read the video title, so you guys know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I have recently been spending a lot of time carefully reading the posts that I see on my Facebook feed, and I have been unfollowing people. And God, I am so happy for the unfollow button. And for those of you who immediately are arguing, well, you know what, like, those people are getting you frustrated or getting you kind of annoyed because they have a different of opinion, and you should have them around because that helps you kind of keep focused. I mean, bless you guys. You guys are saints and martyrs, but I don't really have that time. I don't have that time to read about, how annoying people find their work or how annoying people find certain friends or whatever. That's not helping me grow. That's helping me wither away and die. And I don't want to be like those people. But let's talk a little bit more and let's unwrap this topic of passive aggressive posting. Because of the vast majority of the people that are on my Facebook are musicians, I will be talking about those things because those are my first-hand experiences. And for those of you who are up in arms already, let me dispel certain things. I am not talking about righteous anger towards things like inequality and racism and sexism and all those things. All the power to you. I'm also not going to be rapping on people who are fighting against things like diseases and complications. No, my heart is going out to you guys, and you let me know how to support you. I'm also not talking about people who are exposing people for being bad or unprofessional or immature. Not those things. I'm talking about people who post simply because they are posting about something that affects them and they're doing nothing about it. Or they're posting about something and the act of posting vindicates their feelings and their inaction. For example, there have been these posts, and this one really pisses me off, about like, what you think you get when you hire a musician and what you really get when you hire a musician. And I read this and I'm just like, oh, guys, can we just stop doing this? A, you're not helping musicians at all. A list of things that you force people to read on a Facebook feed is not going to convince them that you are worth the money and the effort and the time if they have already decided that you're not worth that, because they see music as entertainment and they see that exposure is a good thing. What you should be doing is, instead of spending your time reposting something, you should be going out and talking to your friends and doing something about it. Educating maybe your students if you're a teacher, or educating your friends about the importance of getting a job that pays well and saying no to things and being able to stand up for yourself and being able to tell people who try to take advantage of musicians that no, we're not going to do this, and no, I'm going to tell my friends that they're not going to do this either because you are not treating us fairly. That would be a positive way of doing things. Passive-aggressive way would be posting and then just, la-di-daing about your day. And I don't appreciate that. Instead of throwing something on your Facebook feed and forcing people to take a side, why don't you talk to people and see if you can convince them of your point of view? Because guess what? I do agree. The education and the experience and all the stuff that I bring to the table should be worth something. But unfortunately, until you communicate that to someone, they're not going to know. And for those of you who say that, well, they're non-musicians, they don't understand, I have been taken advantage of by more musicians than non-musicians. So don't start that fight with me. I have blacklisted more gigs who have musicians as directors and people who are on the board than non-music. People are rotten to the core whether they have certain experience or not. Another post that I see is people complaining about their friends or their work environment or their lives, and it drives me up the wall because I look at these posts and I'm just like, okay, that's great that you want the world to know about these issues in your life. What are you going to do about it? Like, it's literally a pity party. You're posting about those things just to get people to agree with you, so then you can get like a little bit of a high out of it. So then you're like, oh, I'm vindicated because I'm not the only one that has terrible students, or I'm not the only one that has a terrible boss. It's not going to solve your problems, because the problem isn't your work environment, and the problem isn't your boss or your friends. The problem is you. You're allowing those people to treat you poorly. You are the problem. You should be dealing with it. And when you're posting it, that means you know about it. Knowledge is power, ignorance is bliss. And guess what? You kind of look really silly. Egg on your face. Another thing about this whole situation is just like, a lot of times what happens is when people post about these things, they get vindicated, they feel good, and then they stop doing it, because guess what? It feels nice to have people on your side. So why change things when those people won't be on your side anymore? And it's so stupid. And honestly, you guys, if you're on my Facebook feed and you do this, I've probably already unfollowed you. I can't handle that stuff. Be more proactive, The people in your life that are mistreating you or making you feel terrible deserve to know that they're making you feel terrible. And you are actually also being a terrible person by posting about it, making a big scene out of it, because they might not even know that they're doing this. And if they do know that you're doing this and you're still handling it, I have no idea what you're doing with your life. You might want to move on from those types of people because they're not very healthy for you. Too much talking. It makes me feel very sad that people have to use social media to kind of unleash this negativity, especially this negativity that can be solved by you. You can solve those things, and you don't have to post about it. You can just do it, and we don't have to know. I feel like it's also very unfair when you're posting about some other people, and they may not know that you're posting about them. I think it hurts their feelings, and I don't think that's really cool. It doesn't make you a very good person. Anyways, I think my rant's over. For those of you who agree, like, share, subscribe. For those of you who don't agree, hey, guess what? You can leave a comment in below, or you can send me an email and stuff, and I may or may not respond to you depending on how you word your comments. I think this is an epidemic, and I think it needs to stop. I'll see you guys around. Bye.